Hey guys, Deviator here. In this video I'm going to be going through setting up a portal gun. For the most part the gun's going to be identical to the gun from the game, however there's going to be a few variances in there. And as far as the cameras go, when you look into one portal and you can see out the other portal, I do have that set up, however I'm having a couple issues with it. And it's not so much that there are issues, I just don't like the way I have it set up. So I'm going to see if I can streamline that a little bit and get it to be a little bit more efficient. And once I do that, I'll kind of update you on that. But for the most part, everything else works the same. So let's go ahead and get started here. The first thing, I'm just going to hop into my game here quick. You'll notice I have the first-person shooter template. If you want to follow along using this, you can. If not, feel free to use whatever template or custom game you have set up. I've set this up in a couple different games now, and it's worked perfectly fine in all of them, so you shouldn't have any issues with that. One thing I would recommend, though, is if you take a look at my level, you'll see it's pretty much a clone of the default level that comes with the first-person template. However, I've converted all of the BSPs that were in that level into static meshes. The reason I did that is you get a little bit better results when you're using static meshes versus the BSPs, collision-wise. There's a few issues with the BSPs that come up, and I'll point those out once we get to them. But you can still use them. It's not a huge issue. I would just recommend using static meshes for the time being until I get that issue flushed out a little bit better. So the first thing we want to do here is we need to create a couple portals. What's going to happen is when the player touches one of those portals or enters the portal, it's going to teleport them to the opposite portal. So that'll be our first step. So the first thing is I have a folder here called Portal Gun. I'm just going to create a new blueprint, and it's going to be an actor. And I'm just going to name this one red_portal. I'll go ahead and open that up. So as far as components, I'm going to use an animated material and a billboard I created in a previous video. If you want to follow along with me exactly, you can go ahead and watch those videos real quick and come back. If not, feel free to use your own components. For the most part, all the settings will be the same. There might be a few that change, but everything should be identical for the most part. So under root here, I'm just going to add a box component. I'm going to use this for my collision, and I'm going to bump this up a little bit. Let's say 80 and X, Y, and Z, and make sure collision is set to overlap all dynamic. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my material billboard, and my sprite for that is going to be an animated material that we created earlier. There we go. I'm just going to bump that up in size as well. Let's say 128 by 128. Perfect. And I'm just going to hit save there. And I'm going to hop over to the graph here. And the first thing we're going to do in the graph is we're going to create a variable. We're going to need this variable to detect if we're currently teleporting or not. So I'm just going to call it, it's going to be a bool. And I'm just going to call it is teleporting. And if you just hit compile, you'll see you have a default value down here. Unchecked is false and checked is true, and we want it to, our default to be we're not teleporting, so we're just going to leave that set to false. I'm just going to hit save, and I'm going to close this out real quick. Back here in the content browser, so we have our red portal set up. Now we need another portal, so I'm just going to create a copy of this and change the name to blue_portal. And if you open that up, I'm going to change the component here so I can see the difference. I'm just going to change my billboard material out to that. I'm just going to compile and save here. Okay, so we have our two portal blueprints set here. I'm just going to cut the video off here, and in the next video we will get these set up.